On February 7th, 2019, my 8-year-old brother was rushed to Children's Hospital in Atlanta to the ICU. A week earlier, he was diagnosed with the flu, but my mom knew something else was going on when he couldn't stand, open his eyes, or even talk. He couldn't eat for a week, and he had lost over 30 pounds, so my mom made the decision to bring him to the doctor. The doctor did blood work and found out that his blood sugar was 330 when it should have been around 100. He was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, and that changed his life and our lives forever. Diabetes is a very common and a very underestimated disease that affects billions of people around the world. Today, I will be discussing the basics of diabetes. I'll be talking about the differences between type 1 and 2 diabetes, the symptoms, and the treatments. First of all, the differences of type 1 and type 2 diabetes. In a book called Think Like a Pancreas by Gary Shiner, he says, "The type of diabetes you have is defined by what caused it, not how it is treated." Type 1 diabetes is considered an autoimmune disorder because the immune system sends down T cells to the pancreas to attack something called the beta cells. The beta cells produce insulin, which controls the blood sugar throughout the body. In type 2 diabetes, insulin is still being produced properly, but it is not properly regulating the blood sugar in the body. If type 2 diabetics do not control their diabetes and their intake of carbs or sugars, the beta cells will be overused and they will die off, causing them to have to take insulin like a type 1 diabetic. Now that we've talked about the differences, let's talk about the symptoms. According to the American Diabetes Association, symptoms of diabetes in general include excessive thirst, frequent urination, loss of concentration, and mood swings. Something that a diabetic has to look out for every single day is their blood sugar. A low blood sugar is considered to be below 70. Symptoms of low blood sugar include anxiousness, sweating, confusion, hunger, nausea, pale skin, no energy, blurry vision, numbness, headaches, clumsiness, and if not treated soon enough, seizures. High blood sugar is considered to be above 130. Symptoms of high blood sugar include mood swings, lack of concentration, frequent urination, excessive thirst, and if not treated soon enough, ketosis. Ketosis happens when the blood sugar gets too high, so the body releases ketones into the bloodstream. Symptoms of ketosis include fruity breath, nausea, vomiting, dry mouth, and if not treated soon enough, ketoacidosis, which can lead to a coma. Now that we've talked about the symptoms, let's talk about treatments. In a book called Sugar Surfing, the author says, "Positive or negative outcomes which result from one's own diabetes self-care choices are the consequences of the actions of the individual. A diabetic must watch how they eat and watch how they live their day-to-day lives very closely. Type 1 diabetes cannot produce insulin because their bodies have killed all of the beta cells off, so they have to take insulin to cover the sugar that goes into their body. They can eat whatever they want as long as they cover it with their correct insulin dosage. A type 2 diabetics really have to watch their lifestyle more closely. They can take medicines to help their insulin regulate blood sugar, but mainly they have to exercise and watch what they eat and watch their diets. If they do not control their diabetes well enough, their beta cells could die off and they would have to start taking insulin like type 1. Now you know the differences between type 1 and type 2 diabetes, the symptoms, and the treatments for diabetes. It's very important that we keep these in mind because we never know who could have diabetes. It could be you, me, or a loved one. Maybe if my family knew the symptoms of diabetes, my brother would not have to go through all the traumatic experience that he experienced at such a young age. And this is my audience.
I'm diabetic.
Thank you.